Hola a todos, muchas gracias por acompañarnos en uno de nuestros pocos Q&As que serán pregrabados por condiciones físico-temporales. En esta ocasión nos acompaña Alison Chorn, directora de la magnífica Plastic House, que se presenta como parte de la competencia Más allá del Canvas en esta nuestra cuarta edición. El Q&A será en inglés por cuestiones de logística, entonces de antemano pido una disculpa y agradezco su comprensión. Alison, thank you so much for your time, for allowing us to having you here for this virtual Q&A regarding the screening of The Plastic House at Black Campus.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. I will like it's a really personal film in a way. I have read that you said that this film it's a structure from imagining a situation particularly. Can you talk to us a little bit about it?
Yeah, the film was sort of based on my real experiences and the real location where I lived and worked, but I feel like I needed to transform it and imagine the story, and that's why I feel like um, the structure and the creation of the film was from my imagination.
But at the same time, it's an imagination in your own personal space. It's a really intimate film. You are off camera and in front of the camera. You're the character in the film, like the main character in a way. How was it structured, the images, like working in such an intimate, self-referenced way when you have to be on both sides of the screen and in your own personal space?
Yeah, I think that came about naturally because I was working alone. So I, yeah, I was filming myself behind and in front of the camera, as you said, and yeah, it allowed me to make a lot of formal compositions and very strict and limited shots, and I think that's what created the language of the film.
Absolutely, and I think it's a great achievement by the way you describe it, that it's could be sound like a claustrophobic film, an agoraphobic film in a way, and it's nothing but that. It's nothing even close to that terms. It's a film that, in exchange, it creates a lot of textures. I think it understands the feeling, the emotions, in a physical manner, and I think that's one of the great. Achievements of your film that it would because it's really austere, it's a really independent film, a do-it-yourself film with no other, I don't know what will be the right term for this, but you don't try to go like glorious on the formal aspects. You try to be really concrete. You have to be really austere, and you manage to expand this minimal aspects into great achievements, because I think you managed to even your scenario, that it's not something that you constructed specifically for the film, and becomes like another level of language or another level of interpretation, or like a complete world in itself, that of course with the help of the camera transforming something in this something else. Can you
Yeah,
talk to us a little bit about the way you construct the image in a way, because it's really particular. It's like a I don't know what would be the right term, like foggy in some points.
yeah. I think the fog came about just from the greenhouse itself, which um, obviously there's a temperature difference inside the greenhouse, and um, yeah, that creates the fog. And in the last shot, there's also a fog that envelops the character, and I felt like that was an aesthetic motif, kind of clouding the character, and that's something that I'm very interested in, um, where there's a sheet or some kind of cloud that covers the character, um, and almost like she's getting lost in her environment. And yeah, and that's what I feel like solitude or complete isolation feels like.
Absolutely. No. Can you tell us a bit how much time did it take you to construct this film? And I'm curious because you have the chance to shot a lot because the characters are yourself and your parents, so and your house and your garden. So in a way, you have a complete freedom to shot whatever in the moment you want.
Yeah, well, I shot most of it in winter. Every now and then, when I had time between actually working in the greenhouse, and I had very clear ideas of um, which what kind of scenes I wanted to film, like in different locations, and so I didn't shoot that much actually, but it took a long time to edit together because I was working on other projects, and this was kind of a side project, and so it came about in my own time.
Okay. And now that you mentioned the editing, I think it's really important, especially because you create in the sound complete something that redimensions the image. Absolutely, it's really delicate the way you work the sound. Um, can you talk us a little bit about the aesthetics of the sound?
Yeah, I think you kind of mentioned it. The feeling of like the textural kind of atmosphere and the physicality of the film, which to me comes from the sound. It's very much based in the real location and location sound, and it's obviously a lot of environmental ambient sound because for me it fills up the lack of dialogue, and that creates the language or the sound, the main sound of the film.
So now with the dialogue, another quality
Comes from the sound. It's very much based in the real location and location sound, and it's obviously a lot of environmental ambient sound because for me it fills up the lack of dialogue, and that creates the language or the sound, the main sound of the film.
So now with the dialogue, another quality of the film, it's like you have just few lines in the whole film. Was a completely deliberate decision, or was constructing the way? I mean, was from the beginning you want like this almost silent film, only with the image talking.
Yeah, I wanted the environmental sounds to come first and to be more prominent. And I I limited the amount of dialogue because I felt like it needed to be very special, or yeah, when she sees her flashbacks of her parents, and that's when she hears the dialogue, and so I use that very occasionally.
The temporal jump cuts in a way. It's not the proper because there's no jump in the film, but like you as you said, it happens in different times because in a way it's like an understanding your physical space like a space of memory in a way. It turns the film into something atemporal. It could be happening in sort of a limbo in a way, and you transform again. I'm going with the transformation thing, but I think it's really beautiful to manage with so few resources to turn a physical, normal, ordinary daily life space into even an oniric kind of one with some instruments that you managed to use, or you use magnificently in the film. Another resource that I really like is the decision of when you shot faces or decide to not shot faces. Could be a more proper way. Can you talk us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I think well when I filmed faces or the character's head, it's most of the time you see her wearing like a hat for her while she's working. It's almost like a sort of very light protection, I guess. And one of the themes of the film is, you know, a house, and even if it's a plastic house, it's like protecting everything under it. And I felt like when you see her head, it's like seeing her being vulnerable, or you know, coming closer to her, but to the materiality of it. The fact that it's kind of translucent almost. It can be almost, if it's, you know, um, kind of dirty or um, been weathered by the mud or the wind, it becomes more opaque. But at other times, it can also be almost translucent, where you just see shadows of figures. And I found that image to be very striking, seeing shadows against this plastic material. Yeah, and that's another motif that I wanted to capture.
It's a you have moments, and it seems like you're watching a shadow play in a way with these plastic shadows. Absolutely. And what will you say that will be the main topic for you for this film? It has a lot, but what will be for you the main one?
For me, it is about memories and mm, the, what kind of memories that come back to you even when you're just living your daily life, and um, what images you can come back to through the camera, but also, you know, if digital, or if these devices, these recording devices don't exist anymore, what still lives inside of you. So it's really about memories for me.
Right. Thank you. It's a really, really beautiful film, and I would like to ask you if you have anything in special you wanted to say that I escaping my questions that you may find important to share with the audience.
No, I think those are all very good questions, and
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you so much, Alison. It's a pleasure to introduce your film to the Mexican audiences. I hope, no, I don't hope. I know that they're gonna enjoy it a lot, and you're gonna make um, a lot of good impressions in the with the Mexican cinephilia. I think your film is one of the most beautiful films that we discover, one managed to face and discover during the year. Uh, because, well, there's another question there. It's about the use of time, that it's so precise and so meditative. You turn the film into a meditative trip in a way, or a meditative lounge. I don't know what will be the actual place to put the word, because it's like sharing your space, your memories, your family, your intimacy, but at the same time it's allows you as an audience to reflect a lot on yourself and to interact with the image in so many ways, like feeling like if you're not saying with the words anything of your feelings, but we understand it. It's really, really precise, the use of the image.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for that observation. It's very beautiful. And thank you so much for having my film in the festival.
No, it's a complete pleasure, Alison. Me despido de Alison Churn, directora de The Plastic House, película que forma parte de nuestra competencia